What's up guys, welcome back to Real Talk. If you're new to the channel, my name's Christian and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Do need to keep my voice down as it's very early in the morning and my partner is still asleep upstairs, so she'll be absolutely fuming if I wake her up. But in today's video, right after I do this intro, I'm heading down to Motech Performance to get some new brakes fitted to my BMW M2 competition. Now for me, the reason I've gone with this setup, and I'll let you know what that is, I've gone for the EBC two-piece floating discs. They're grooved at the front, and in terms of pads, I've gone for the EBC RP-X track pads, because I mainly use the car for track now, unless I take it on a really nice day, but it would be for a good old Sunday hoon, right? So that's really what I use the car for, that perfect setup for me. And I want to talk about why I think, in terms of value for money, it's the best setup that you can get for your BMW M2 without spending thousands and thousands. Because let's face it, if you've got an M2 and if you've driven it quite hard or taken it on track, or even an M3, M4, we all know that the standard OEM brake setup is not the best in the world. As soon as there's a little bit of heat, they just crap themselves. You get serious brake fades. The judder's unreal, and I experienced that on my last track day, and it's something that I needed to get sorted. And I was looking for something that's going to fill me with confidence when I go for a good old spirited drive, and when I'm on track, and I'm not going to have to worry about any sort of brake fades. The brakes are going to just keep their nice cool temperature without going overload and not getting any serious juddering. So the position I was in is, what do I go for? You know, I've not got £4,000–5,000 just to chuck at a big brake kit like AP Racing or something like that. So what do you do next? So what I've gone for, I think, is the best brake setup that you can get for under £1,500 for your BMW M2. So let's head down to Motec, let's get them fitted. Can't wait to show you guys, let's go. We're about halfway at the minute and the weather is just shocking as always, but we're about to go through the toll, the M6 toll, and anyone who knows the M6 toll, it means one thing. Woo! Woo! So guys, we're not far out, we're about 15 minutes. And I'm actually so excited. It's like, you know when you get new tyres fit, like everyone raves about Michelin's, the tyre walls, they look buff. It's the same with the brakes. They just look so cool. And as I kind of mentioned in previous videos, the reason I'm getting them changed is the stock M2 competition brakes, and from my kind of understanding, it's the same with the M3, M4, older ones of course, they're just not really cut out for track work. And like, honestly, mine were terrible. Like, I was pushing the car quite hard, and the amount of vibration I was getting, the brake fade, it was absolutely horrible. So hopefully this rectifies that issue, and I'm sure it will. Whilst we're at Motec, I'll get Mike to talk a little bit about the differences between the discs.
So we're back. Last time you were here, M140 fitted start springs and spacers.
Yep.
You're bugging me now, but it's not there. We've already
it's in already.
Bugging me about your M2.
Yeah.
Springs, remus, but first of all we've got to do the brakes.
Yes, we have to do the brakes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So you sent me a message a little while ago. You walked them track day. I haven't got stock of the front, so you're having actually my display set. So
thank you.
You're welcome, Motul. So you've probably already done a bit of B-roll of the standard setup on it.
Yes.
Yeah, as you can see, they're not bad, but as soon as you put them on track, they're pretty weak. You know, the holes tend to coke up with the original sort of pad into them. It doesn't get rid of the heat very well. The original pad is quite compromised. It's a very good temperature range. So putting the two-part floaters on from EBC with our centres anodised in gold just for us, just to give you that sort of ceramic feel. Yeah. You know, from the M2 CS has had. Obviously with the RP-X track day pad, perfect. Just bed them in, get rid of the heat better, just all round win-win. So yeah, let's get them fitted.
Perfect. So what would you say the main differences are then between the EBC disc compared to the standard?
Fundamentally, the biggest difference is cooling. You have to get rid of it. Being a two-part floating front disc, you can get rid of the heat.
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't have the drill holes all the way through, so it's not going to get coked up full of pad. It has obviously the slotted grooves in place. So if we go down, have a little look.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, obviously these are just designed, one, to keep the pad obviously clean, but secondly, really basically just to get rid of some of the heat. So the EBC pad also has obviously the groove in the middle, just to yet again help get rid of some of the pressure. So a lot of people think that brake fade is obviously fluid.
Yeah.
The fluid boiling and the fluids just meets its point. They're your knees.
Yeah, they're proper crack there.
You are old. So it's not actually, what actually brake fade is to start with is heat and pressure on the pad pushing itself back in the caliper.
Right.
So what we need to do is basically get rid of as much heat and as pressure as we can, especially if you're on track. So first thing to do is obviously better disc, more ventilation, and of course a groove in the pad. Then of course, like anything else, these are far superior. They have a much better temperature range for on track, so you're going to notice a massive difference on this. And the most important thing on track is you're out there longer and enjoying it.
Yeah, of course. And would you say you'd notice an initial difference straight away on the bite and just
yes, completely, yeah. Especially when they're up to
difference.
temperature. Yeah, it's going to give you a lot more confidence in braking. So yeah, win-win on this setup. These obviously are a track day pad. You can use them on the road. I would suggest getting some heat into them. So just be careful on those cold mornings.
Yes.
Like you say, you don't use a car as a day, so you'd be all right.
Yeah, cool.
Bedding in process on these. Give it sort of 300-400 miles. Follow EBC's instructions. They've got some good stuff on their YouTube channel. If not, like I sort of say, about 300-400 miles, and give it some hard braking, 70 to 0, not emergency stops, getting some heat into them, tempering the pads, and you'll be as good as gold. But yeah, it's a really good setup, very usable, and plus they just look amazing.
Yeah, they do look really good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, and of course, obviously the gold looks amazing with our lovely logos onto it.
Perfect. Well, cheers, Mike. Hopefully we get them fitted now, and let's feel the difference. I appreciate it. Cheers, buddy.
No worries.
Okay guys, this is literally my first time in the car here. I've been told to take it easy because it's a completely different brake setup, so obviously it's going to feel a little bit different. So I'm just going to take it easy to get used to how it bites. But guys, first of all, how awesome do these new brakes look? They look absolutely epic. They look so good. Anyone who, like, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's definitely mine, but I think they look so cool, and the difference that these are going to make on track are going to be absolutely brilliant. They're a brilliant track pad from what I hear. Mike knows what he's talking about, and on that subject, I do just want to say a massive thanks to Mike and Motec, because as always, service is exceptional. The photos that they put out of your car and their content is always next level. I couldn't thank them enough for fitting me in at such short notice. So massive thank you to them. But what do you guys think? I think they look absolutely awesome. Obviously, I'm getting used to the actual compound. Considering that it's a new pad and it's a track pad, they bite relatively quite well, considering they've not been worn in and they're cold. So they feel really good, to be fair. Feel really good. Obviously, I can't wait to get a bit of heat into them. I need to go through like a normal heat cycle after about 300-400 miles. I don't want to ruin up the whole setup, but oh, I can't get over how sick they look. They look so good, man. They look so good. Even when they're cold, they're not worn in, they're not bedded in, they've not gone through heat cycles. Just to tap on them, I feel like I'm going through the windscreen, and I can't get over. I just want to get out and look at them. Oh God, I just want to get out and look at them. Let's talk about the setup. First of all, it looks awesome. They feel awesome, even though they're cold. So I can't wait to see what they're going to feel like on track next week, once I've gone through the heat cycles properly and then bedded them in. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I suppose the question is why have I changed my brakes and why have I gone for these? So as I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the video, you've got a few options, right? You can stick with your normal brakes. You can go extreme big brake kit, pay thousands, or you can meet in the middle. And where's best to meet in the middle? Let's face it, I don't have 4 or 5 grand to chuck at a big brake kit. I don't, and I don't just track my car all the time. it's something that I do occasionally. I'd like to do it once every month or once every 2 months. So for the normal person, I just think it's a lot of money to spend. So that kind of leaves you with, what do I go for next? And I do truly think the setup that I've got at the moment, or what I've just put on now, so that is the exclusive to Motec Gold EPC 2-piece floating discs, which look awesome. I've also gone for the EBC RP-X 1 pads as well, which is a more track focused, a bit more of an aggressive pad. I don't think for your BMW M2 you can get a better brake setup for less than 1,500 quid. I really, really don't. I think this is the most cost effective and best value for money brake setup you can do. And I'll just explain a little bit for why. So let's start off with the OEM setup. So you've got your stock pads and you've got your stock drilled discs. Now Mike has gone through a bit of a crash course with me, so I'm just going to keep it simple. The stock ones on M cars, specifically my experience with the M2, and I know it's the same with M3s, M4s, they're not the best. For day-to-day use, yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. For a spirited drive, you'll be all right. You'll probably get a little bit of fade, but when you take them on track, they are completely out of their comfort zone. And that's mainly 2 reasons. The first one, the pads, okay? The pads, stock, can deal with temperature, but after a certain point, they just become ineffective. They get too hot, and that's when you can start, if you're pushing the car really hard, you can start baking the pad onto the disc. The second thing is the drilled discs. They are good, absolutely, but being drilled comes with its drawbacks. And the main one, and the one that I'm only going to talk about, is those drilled holes that you can see over time can get clogged with a lot of rubbish. So just have a look at mine, for example. They look awful, and that is where the heat, the temperature, and the gases escape from. If that's blocked, that's a serious, serious issue. And the issue is the temperature, the heat, the gases are not escaping. And that's when you can start getting severe brake fades, horrible brake judder. And if you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Judder on the pedal, on the brake pedal, and through the steering in some extreme cases. And if you haven't, make sure you get this set up so you don't ever have to experience it. And that's because all the heat and temperature can't escape. There's nowhere for it to disperse to. So it's just getting trapped, it's just bouncing back, if you like, onto the pads. And you've effectively got an ineffective brake setup. And that's why I've gone for this setup now. It is noticeably different already. The fact that they're still cold and I can notice it, I'm really excited to see what they're going to be like when I'm out on track. So that's why I've gone for that pad. So those two together, I've got quite an aggressive compound, which when hot bites and can deal with really extreme high temperatures in comparison to like a stock OEM pads. You can go in between. It's really what you use the car for and how hard you push it. But coupled with the disc as well, it's really going to keep temperatures down on track. The next thing I'm doing is the brake fluid, which I'd recommend to anyone. Going for Motul 600 brake fluid, that's getting done next week. So that will all be in time for the track day. So that's pretty much it. You know, if you're in the market, as I say, if you've got an M2 and you're looking at doing a track day, or you're just not quite satisfied with the brake setup, go for just an upgraded pad. And that could be, you know, that could be EBC, that could be like a blue stuff. Again, there's loads of different brands you could go for. That's all you probably need, providing your discs are in good shape. If you're looking at pushing your car a little bit harder, doing a few more track days, then I would fully recommend going with the disc. And these two together, it looks awesome, it feels awesome already, and for bang for buck, I don't think you can get better, and I'm really excited to see how these cope. So that's pretty much it. So let me know what your thoughts are. I think this is the best brake setup you can get without spending thousands. Let me know if you have any different opinions. I'd love to hear that. Or if you have any questions about your brakes, if you're looking to get some, please just drop a comment down below and I'll get back to you straight away. I try to reply to all the comments that I can. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Super excited to see what these are like next week. And hopefully a massive thumbs up from me and a thumbs up from me so far.
Oh, just got back after what was probably the worst journey in history. But what are my initial thoughts? So I've not really experienced them much. But what I can say is there's definitely a more aggressive bite even when they're cold. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have. Well, basically I've got to do a bit of a bedding in process. I've got to do a heat cycle process. Once that's done, they'll be on track, they'll be hot. I can't wait to see what they're like. But initial thoughts so far, they look banging, they feel good. As soon as you tap these accelerator, I feel like I'm going, through the windscreen. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Next time I see you, I'll probably be on track. Take care.